Hey y'all, Rocco here. Hope you guys are just having a great day, good Monday. And just, I know this is a little bit different video out of just the schedule, but what this was pretty much just a podcast style, like Discord call that I did on Saturday with my friend Master CNC, Abe, and just a whole bunch of other people. And it was just us talking to this new guy in the Nashville space, just giving him tips and tricks about vending and all that type of stuff. And yeah, so this is kind of just really a podcast style thing. I know I have my podcast, but this is really just a blank image, just a Discord call, like I said, that we just recorded the audio. So, sit back, relax, find something to do, maybe play some video games or organize some bulk or, I don't know, do whatever you want. But just enjoy. I hope you guys are having a great day. Have a great rest of your week. We'll have a podcast this Saturday. And without further ado, let's get to the video.
Alrighty,
Alrighty.
so again, I'll give it like 3 more minutes as people just hop in. But Rocco, why don't you explain in detail what you were talking about regarding your claim sale to Victor? And Victor, are you familiar with like claim sales and how all that thing goes?
Yeah.
Cool, but yeah, Rocco, go ahead and just share
Oh,
that.
okay. So, for example, something I had to get some sticky notes because I'm writing. I have my, if I can flip my camera, I have my case here, um, filled with. It's not a crazy amount, but I have some stuff in there.
Oh, give
Um,
it 2 more months.
yeah, given to me by my boy Jackson, who obviously isn't here yet. So, but thank you for that. Um, and pretty much, so how I started in June. Like I started doing stuff in June of last year. And it was mostly just singles off eBay. I was pretty much liquidating my entire collection. And I still have an eBay. I have like some video games and some just other random stuff on there that I'm selling, just because it's a good way to understand. Like I understood the algorithm, so I know how to get pretty much good sales on it. Um, but what I realized, and one of the downsides of eBay is having all the fees. So what I did is I started doing a lot more shows, and pretty much with shows, you don't have fees, obviously, because it's usually in-person cash transaction. The only thing you're paying for usually is like the table. So for example, Lighthouse, which there's one next Saturday, that's $40 for, I believe, 6 hours. Um, and you have 6 hours, you have a table for 6 hours, 6 foot table, and that's not like crazy. It's really affordable, at least compared to other stuff, because you sell one, two cards, you make your money back. Um, but then like last weekend, there was a 3 day show called the National, which is like a bigger, not really Collecticon scale, but pretty like if you think like local, the National, and then Collecticon is usually how I like to see it in terms of like scale, and that one was $250 for a whole table. Pretty much, I'm just trying to explain all the other things. But what I with those shows, you don't have obviously a lot of fees. So what claim sales are pretty much is I have an Instagram. I have a decent following, that I've been able to acquire in the past in the months that I've been doing this. Is I usually will put it. I'll do a post or I'll do a story, and it's like, hey, here are all the cards that I got. Here are this is how I accept payment. If you're interested in any of these cards before I put them in the case for the next show, please hit me up. And then people will like send you DMs or they'll comment on it or whatever. And a really good thing in the Facebook group as well, is because there's, I think, like almost 2,000 people in the Facebook group that, even if like half of them are on there regularly, that you have access to 1,000 people that might want to get your card. So it's pretty much just an easier way to do deals online, locally, whatever. And for example, I earlier this week I sent an order out to one of my friends. His name's Axie in Nevada, and we talked over Facebook. I have his messages too, so we talked over Facebook, and then he Zelled me them out. And with that, there's no like obviously no fees. I did a buy on I believe Wednesday for a couple slabs that should be coming. And same thing, just text over Instagram, boom, I Zelled him, no fees, no nothing, just quick, simple. Here's the tracking number, boom. So it's pretty much just a way to work around fees or to just get your cards out there and get sales. I hope I explained that well. I know that was kind of long.
No, it's all good. So pretty much off of that, um, Victor, you're. I just saw your post, by the way, on the Facebook group. So, really cool cards. And I guess that kind of goes into one of your questions that you had, right? How do you get more inventory? Definitely, shows is gonna be a way to acquire more cards. Just like you mentioned as well, just going all over the internet, Facebook Marketplace. Um, And even on Instagram, if you don't have your Instagram, strongly encourage, the more exposure that you have, the better. You'll get hit up by randoms that you don't have access to on Facebook or on Facebook Marketplace, and it just creates another stream of income coming your way. But I do see that Jackson's back on. Everybody seems to be here. So, my name is Abe. My company now that I've registered for is, Master CNC. And if you want to venture out, registering your LLC in one of those things, if you want to take it seriously, I've always said, take it seriously. I was guilty of not taking it seriously and just still calling it my side hustle. But it also kind of switches your mindset when you start saying, hey, this is my business, right? You start taking it a little bit more seriously and you actually start taking that approach where it's like, oh, instead of oh, it's just a hobby, whatever. No, if you really put your head down and start thinking, hey, this is my business, and start doing things and start treating it like a business, oh, it grows crazy. But yeah, I've been doing it for a little minute. Got really serious this year. I've been on and off. That's one of my mistakes where, I sell away and I go away and then I come back. And that's always one of the hardest things. It's very tempting, to get bought out. I've been bought out a couple of times and it's like, hey, you know what? I get rid of it, cash out, do whatever I want, come back, have some fun with it. But of course, whenever somebody approaches your table and says, hey, they want to buy you out, just run your numbers. Run your numbers. If it makes sense for you, then we should be good. And Jackson, my boy's in here. I see that your mic is muted. As long as you can hear me, I know you're busy. I'm gonna say that you're good. But since we're digressing a little bit, Victor, why don't you introduce yourself to us? Because I kind of know you, but just maybe I've seen you in person. But no, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, sure. I have been, collecting on and off for the better part of 10 years. For a few years now, I've, gone back and forth and considered doing more of the vending and getting into the sales side to kind of fund the hobby and kind of pay for all the stuff that I waste money on all the time.
Yeah.
And so decided this would be the year that I kind of take it a little bit more seriously and actually start moving things that I'm not personally in love with or that I have duplicates of.
Yeah.
And so, the last month and a half, I've kind of been doing some market research, going to shows, kind of poking around, and just kind of getting everything in order to start doing that.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's the basics. Outside of Pokemon, I work in audio, the kind of the audio world, and
Really?
I've ran and started a few businesses before I um, do the job that I'm currently doing now. So I'm pretty familiar with, setting up sole proprietorships, LLCs, kind of the tax side, the paperwork side of businesses, and I'm trying to really be mindful about that as I kind of start down this and try to find the easiest and less trying to find the right words for it, but the less um, uh, difficult path forward, I guess.
Yeah.
So
No,
yeah.
and I appreciate you sharing that. And this is what's great about the community. Once we get to know each other, I'm in the finance world, so
Oh, great.
I work in the bank, and I'm very familiar with all that stuff. But what I'm trying to get to is that we all do different things outside of Pokemon or outside of TCG, and we can connect on another level as well, right? So I can feed off of you, I can feed off of everybody else, and we can all just continue to help each other grow and whatnot. So I appreciate you sharing that with us. And are you local here in Nashville, or where you at?
Yeah. Yeah, I live in Nashville.
Okay, cool. So I'm assuming you're familiar with the Lighthouse show, you're familiar with the Nashville National show, and then have you heard of our little trade days? Have you attended one of our little trade days?
Are you talking about the bubble tea
Yeah.
over in?
Yes.
Yeah. I've been to the end of one of them. I think I got there right as you guys were wrapping up, and so
Oh shoot.
I
Okay. Okay. I know who you is then.
yeah. Yeah. I'm going to get better about going to them, and I think that's kind of what I meant about getting more serious about the hobby this year
Yeah.
is making time to be at shows and doing a little bit more vending rather than just popping in when I make time, you know?
Yeah. No, it's they're always fun. We do have one coming up. I'll let you know more about that a little bit. That way I don't digress from this. But cool. So I know I've seen you before. Then we've met multiple times. So um, you know how it is. You see a lot of people, and you kind of just, hey, how you been? We kind of know you in the hobby, but then it's
Yeah.
dude, you know. But cool. No, I
Yeah.
know exactly who you is, and no, I'm glad that you're giving us the opportunity to help you out, man. So. Um, I want to go ahead and talk about that very first question real quick, and then every other question I'm gonna let everybody speak on, kind of have their take, and hopefully we get some nuggets out of that. But best way to get a hold of Jeff. Unfortunately, right now, he messaged me not too long ago, and he says via email, right? Just because everybody's always blasting his phone. He's a little elderly and whatnot. So he says that he doesn't mean to not respond to you, but via email, that's where he goes and does all his business.
If you
Right.
call
So
him too, it's the best. I always just call him.
I was
oh
gonna
he
say the only way I've been able to get a hold of him is to call him. I've emailed him about several shows, and I think like you said, he's just busy and he's got a lot on his plate. And so finally, I got through to him via phone one time, and I'm on the books now. So hopefully, I think I've built a relationship, and it's a little easier moving forward. But I
Now
guess
it
we'll see.
is hard for the newer guys to get tables because me and him talk like when we call, I'm on the phone with him for about 20, 40 minutes.
Oh, really?
nice.
Okay.
He's getting destroyed by all the people that are trying to get tables at the Lighthouse show. That's why they started this new show coming up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in Henderson.
Oh, I saw it in
So
Hendersonville. Yeah.
yeah, so with that one coming up, that was another reason he's trying to make sure all the vendors can at least get a chance to get a table.
Okay.
And I mean, that is literally like the main reason why he started this next show because Lighthouse got so big so quickly in the past year. And it's like 50-60% Pokemon now. Like I've had multiple sports guys tell Jeff and Jeff tell me that they don't like all the Pokemon people there.
I've
I heard
heard.
he said that they were talking about potentially moving it to like, trying to split the gym up or something. And the way he
Yes.
said it made it sound like somebody didn't want the Pokemon in there. So
It's
that's not,
all the sports guys and they
yeah.
see all the business and Pokemon people that are coming in and they kind of get a little jealous of it because it hasn't always been that way. I mean,
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
been Abe's known me. Used to walk the show. It used to just be Abe and like four other vendors with Pokemon. That was it.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
me,
That was
Okay.
literally
me,
it.
Alberto. Yeah, that's it.
Literally, that was it. I
Wow.
was like, and now it's a good thing. All these new vendors coming up, and it's a good thing that people are trying to fund it like you are. I'm one of those people that are pro for it. Some people are pro against it.
Yeah.
A lot of the sports guys don't like it because it takes away their tables. Not to say it was theirs to begin with.
That makes sense.
So that
Yeah.
is me and Jeff have talked about it, and that is like kind of why he wanted the Hendersonville show is and like to maybe get some people over there. Make sure everyone can at least get a chance because it's only what like 100 tables for Lighthouse, and I take up 3 to 4 myself.
Oh,
I
no
mean,
kidding. I was
so
going
It's
to ask
120.
yeah, that's what
120.
I'm saying. It's not enough.
Also,
So
Are they
one
he
6 foot
Hendersonville.
tables or 8 foot tables?
They're
6 foot.
6 foot.
Okay. I thought so.
So it's just not enough room for the people that are newer to just grab one table whenever, myself and some others included that know whenever it's going to happen, when the next show is. And, we call them, text them ahead of time. It used to be you could just wait till like the week of and then do it. You can't now. You won't get a table.
Wow.
So, yeah, no, you have to be quick. That's good. You got a table. But yeah, just kind of, that is, I'm hoping it's not like this the whole time with the sports guys, considering now the repackers are now moving into the Pokemon side.
Yeah, I've seen that too. Well, and to be clear too, I hope I said it right. I've got a table March 8th. The 22nd show was sold out. So I will
Yes.
be, yeah, roaming the 22nd, but I won't have a table, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's apparently there's gonna be a lot of Pokemon there. I don't know exactly who all's got a table. I know Abe got one. I know Bronco got one as well.
Okay.
Dylan Hudson got one, and I know one other vendor that won't be there. He won't be set up this weekend.
Okay.
But other than that, there should be maybe Adam Wiseman might be
Adam's
there.
great, man. I've chatted with him a few times at shows, and the growth he's had at his booth, and I guess now at Country Cards in Gallatin is kind of wild, man. Unless
Oh,
it
dude,
looks
he
more
has the money
natural,
to back
organic.
it.
Yeah,
He
does he? It
has.
seems like it.
He's loaded. Oh,
Yeah.
he's loaded. He bought that base set non-shadowless Charizard. Like, dude, just straight up bought it. He was like, "Okay, I'll buy it." I was like, "I'm just sitting there like in disbelief." But no, he can do a lot. He's definitely a big spender when it comes to certain things.
Okay, nice.
So no. But yeah, no.
No,
Oh,
Adam's
my
great.
bad, Abe. You can go ahead and keep going. I just
No,
wanted to
you,
chime
you're
in.
Yeah,
good.
sorry,
What,
rambling.
and feel free to chime in, guys, at any time. This I don't have it planned out. This is my first call of many that I kind of want to do, but no. I told Adam that he needs to play his guitar a little bit more often.
Dude, he can shred, and the amount
Dude,
of stuff he has for that is stupid. It's so many
yeah.
instruments,
I
like
saw his
pieces.
last. Yeah, his last video that he was playing, I think the Pokemon song. One of them,
Mhm.
it was. I was like, bro, like you gotta see at that stage that we have coming up, Rocco. I'm gonna have him just set up there while we take care of his fucking booth, and he's just gonna be
Yeah.
shredding all night.
My
No, he
dad's
can
Yeah.
shred.
yeah,
my dad's a
and
professional bassist as well, so I'm sure he would enjoy being with a fellow musician.
I know that your dad did something with music, bro. Low key, I think your pops looks fucking cool. Like he's a cool ass fucking dude.
He is part of his band has disbanded, but he was part of a Grammy nominated band, so he's
Shut
definitely
up.
done a lot of stuff.
Dang.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I don't know if y'all know Mute Math. It's an older like alternative rock band, but that's what they did.
That's pretty fucking cool, man. No,
They
that's
also-
super
Super cool.
They also are the reason why like 21 Pilots became so big. They I toured on their Blurry Face tour. So
Oh, cool.
What?
that was one of the things. So, yeah.
No, that's super cool. And I
Okay.
see that someone else just joined in. Welcome, Babe. Is that you? I mean, just you can use the chat up above, Grails and Glory. You can just type in there. And Big Blue, I am not disregarding your comment that you mentioned. I know we talked about it a little bit. Big Blue said that he just got offered a buyout today, but the flip shows in 2 weeks. So, and I'm going to touch bases about the buyouts, right?
That was me.
Oh, okay. So, Jackson, whenever Jackson is, just
Sam?
say no.
That's
It's okay to
Sam,
say
isn't
no,
it?
guys.
Is Big
Wait,
Blue Sam?
Bratton?
No, Jackson.
Yeah,
that's not
he's
me.
here.
Yeah, that was me.
Oh, what's happening, Sam? Sam was one of the first vendors I met at any of the shows. I bought or no, I didn't even meet you at a show. I met you at a Target in Franklin. I bought a Expedition Zard off of you.
Oh,
Here
yeah,
goes
yeah.
talking at a Target.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool, guys. Yeah, Sam, I've seen you before. I've met you. We haven't had as many conversations as I know that we could possibly, but I'm glad and I'm happy to have you as well. Would love your input in all this. And just like I know you've been hearing, if you ever want to just chime in, feel free to. Guys don't need to ask for permission. But before I move on to the second question, Victor, any questions regarding how to get a hold of Jeff now?
No, I feel better about it. I mean, I think the only other question maybe around that is I know you said tables are, $250 at the larger show. I had heard rumors that it was 300 at the Pokemon. There's a Pokemon
Yeah.
one center that, coming up, and I had
Yeah.
heard it might be around 300 for that, but I wasn't sure if any of you all had heard.
PokeFest is going to be
Yes.
something interesting. Me and Jackson
Yeah.
I think me and Jackson kind of agree on it.
Okay.
Rocco, I haven't talked to you about it, but to
It's
answer your
in
question,
the tiny
Victor,
room, right?
it's just Expo 1. That's it. It's
Yeah,
just this
it's
Expo.
not-
No, it's Expo 2. It's on Expo 2. So it's not even
Yeah,
Expo
it's
1,
not-
it's Expo 2.
It's
Yeah.
you know.
But what Jeff had told us is that 300 is going to be for the tables right in the front. Where's the front going to be? I'm assuming by the concession center and by the restrooms, right? Maybe right there. I don't know where the entrance would be since it's not on the other side. But he mentioned 300 for the closer ones in the table, 280 for the middle ones, and then the ones are in the back and around the area is like 250. So it's going to be interesting. I mean, if you guys want to quickly just give your thoughts around that would be cool. not to discourage or change your mind if you're gonna go or not. I might go. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it since it's gonna be the first time that it's gonna be. But what are your guys' thoughts about the PokeFest?
I mean, I don't know. Going from Collecticon and him charging, almost exact same price for tables with half the amount of things that are going on, I don't know. I'm very 50-50 on it. I don't know if it's going to be great. I don't know if it's going to be, no one shows up. I think it'd be worth going because if you're there for a buyer, so for me and let's say Rocco, me and Rocco go there, we need inventory and we're not set up. If I know that show's expensive, there's a lot of overhead. Just to gas, travel, everything, and food, you're probably looking at 500 for the weekend if you live here in Nashville. Because 300 for the table, plus food, plus gas, everything. You're probably in the whole 500. In my head, I'm thinking you got to sell a lot of cards to make 500 profit, or you have to have a lot of big stuff to make that profit.
Yeah.
In my head, immediately, I'm like, I'm going to go there Sunday and buy somebody out. Because if you have that much overhead, you don't want a loss for the show. If I'm set up, I don't want a loss for the show. I think it'd be a great show for someone to go buy. I don't know if it'd be a good show for you to set up at. That's just my opinion, and I could be totally wrong. I'm just going off of the fact there's no autographs, there's no, concert, there's nothing that's sets this show apart from the national. There's nothing. It's just more per table and only one expo center. Not even Beckett will be there doing on-site grading or review, any of that stuff.
Interesting.
So all that included, I don't know if it's worth me setting up. Like I've told Abe, I don't know if I am. I think I am because the guy I technically work for Collecticon, he's getting a 10-table pod there. He's probably going to kill it because he's going to be right in the front.
I see.
I just don't know if it's worth setting up at if you're a smaller vendor just starting out, trying to make a profitable show when it's $300 out the gate. There's not people that are going to be traveling out of state to come here if there's no autographs or concerts or Jason Page, who I despise, singing the whole time for 3 hours. That's just the way I look
Jackson.
at
it. And Jackson, real quick, I'm just going to interrupt you real quick for this. Now, the reason why I want Jackson here is, Victor, I don't know if you're aware, but Jackson has blown up. He's only been doing this for like 6-7 months. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah,
he's been doing a lot of collecticons, those bigger shows. So I love that he's here because he can share that input about other shows. What does he see on other shows? And this is why he's sharing all this information. All right, Jackson, go ahead.
No, that's great. I need to hit you up at some of the collecticons because I'm planning on going to a few this year as well. And I don't know anybody that's going to any of them yet because I've never been to one. So I'll definitely hit you up when we're out there.
Yeah, no, for sure. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like with everything included from all the big Pokemon shows, what sets this show apart from any other? If you look at, I'm a numbers person. Let's compare. If you have, option A over here is the national, you're going to be split with 2 buildings, sports and Pokemon. Option B, it's PokeFest, 300 a table, 1 expo center, only Pokemon. In my head, it's the same thing. You're just paying $150, $100 more per table. For I guess the same output. It's all the people that are going to be there are going to be all the people that are at Antioch and the National. I don't think that's a bad thing. I'm just looking at it as of like who's all going to be coming here. I don't see people coming from Florida and all that over just to come to the show unless they're a repacker.
Yeah, and then I honestly felt like, and it's just me talking out loud, I don't mean anything that I'm saying, but it's like if Jeff knows that all the people are at Lighthouse that slang Pokemon are going to be there, it's like, why 250? Why 300? When it's not going to be a lot. But anyhow, I guess he has his bills to pay, so I know business is business, but no, I appreciate input on that. Just go ahead.
Jeff and the guy that I work for talked, and he asked about how much they are per table. He didn't have a set per table yet until we told him how much Collecticon was per table. But granted, remember, Collecticon, that you have autographs, you have, the voice actor from Mario.
It's Collecticon.
So you have people that are like the anime people, or like all the voice actors are there. That's why, and there's like most of VIP line right before opening, it's all autograph people. They're sitting there for 7 hours for autographs. All day. They're there all day. Like they are dedicated people that are there. And they're flying from all over. Just because every show is different. You might not have the same people every time. So again, the PokeFest doesn't have that. So I am pretty curious to see how this show goes. I'm still 50-50 on if I'm going to set up or not. And it's right around the corner.
Yeah, and then I guess this goes towards the fifth question that I jot down for you, Victor, is like
Can I?
going. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, I was just gonna say, like kind of what Jackson. I think even Jackson, we talked about this on our podcast. I also have a podcast, Tyler, or not Tyler. Oh my goodness, Victor.
Victor.
Sorry. So and doing the national for the first time, that was a huge show for me. I would rather like have it just be like a lighthouse that's exclusive for Pokemon people, because I think Lighthouse is bigger than Expo 2 because that room is very tiny. And it's not, I don't know if the air conditioning works in there still. But it's not, it's gonna
dude,
be,
it was sticky.
Look,
it's
y'all
not
just
gonna
felt how
be,
we did back in October in the first building, okay?
Oh,
It was tough.
jeez, that was bad.
but I was just gonna say, like, second what Jackson said, that I don't know how it's gonna be yet. And for me personally, like finding Jeff and all these tables, like I asked, for example, my table for Lighthouse next week is I asked Jackson and I asked Abe for it because I don't necessarily have that direct like connection with Jeff yet. And I know it was going to be like he was going to already be texting a lot of people. So that's kind of how my positioning is on it.
Cool.
Got it.
Yeah, and then go ahead, Sam.
I don't know if this was covered earlier. I was in the shop. I'm out in my car now just because it's kind of loud in there. But one thing, I don't know if anyone's talked about it, but with Jeff shows, there's always no shows. So I always recommend, I've done it before, just show up, even though he says he's full. And about 9 o'clock, he'll give you a table. I think last time I paid full price. I usually pay Jeff full price just because I'm getting one table. And he's put a lot of hard work into it. I don't like $40 versus $35 don't matter to me. But I've heard he cuts other people's deals, but they also show up like every time and take any tables that haven't been full. So I recommend to walk, even if you don't get a table, and show up and try to get a table at 9 o'clock.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right. I think Lucky does that too, right, Jackson?
Yeah, Lucky does. If I don't have him at table, because me and he used to run together all the time. Like if I was at a show, like, hey, I already got your table, don't worry about it.
Who's Lucky?
Yeah, Lucky.
A friend of ours.
Yeah. Okay. But like it's so hard to get him now. Like I asked for 7 tables and he wouldn't let me have them all. Because he doesn't want me to feed them to other people that are in Pokemon. That was the problem where it was the sports guys are having a problem with it. Because if I'm going to set up, I want all Pokemon in one place. I don't want to have to, I don't want to be the one sore thumb out over in the left field where there's no Pokemon surrounded by baseball and football. And, the whole, middle area is all Pokemon. You're not going to get any business. So in my head, I'm like, I'd rather just be with everybody. I know all y'all anyways.
Yeah.
And that's what I was trying to do, but he didn't want that to happen. So, like, I tried to, because like that was my plan too, because I figured somebody I knew would want to get a table. And I was like, if I can get 7, all I need is 3. I got 4 to give out. I got 3 phone calls for the show in one day. Rocco was one of them, and then I had 2 other people text me that same day.
Yeah.
My fault, Jackson.
No, you're fine, dude.
No, and then going back to what I said in the beginning, Jackson, you weren't here, but we've always been about community, and again, going back to what I said, if I eat, you eat, we all eat. So I like that mentality that we have here in this group. Oh, who that? Anyhow, but it's cool to see, like at the Nationals, I wasn't buying anything, but I would shoot them to Dylan, or shoot them to Rocco, or shoot them to Adam. So that's kind of like the vibe that we like, right? It's like just because I'm not making money doesn't mean that my boys can't make money, right? So that's just a little side note for there. But
and for something in the future, last thing, this is why Abe and I have been talking about possibly doing something that is more specifically related to Pokemon, because I'm a high school student. I'm 16. And my high school has a gym that is bigger than the Lighthouse gym. So we were thinking making something related to that. So that is another reason why there are kind of things in the works that will maybe make a new show for Pokemon people specifically.
Yeah, no, that's definitely in the works. Just got to iron some things out, talk to a few people, and it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. It's definitely gonna happen. So question number 2, and then anybody that wants to answer this, go ahead. I need to get a little more water here. But question number 2 that Victor has is it easier to sell singles or sealed? And I'm interested to see what you guys have to say because the market has changed.
I hate both.
Both. Just depends on the show.
Yeah, I mean, no show will be the same. Atlanta Collecticon, I mean, we did numbers I never thought I would even be close to touching. And it was a lot of sealed, a lot of everything. But like we go to
Wow.
LA in 2 weeks and it could be nothing. Like no show's the same. I've done 3 flip shows and all of them have been different. I sold more slabs at the other, I sold more singles at the other, and I didn't sell a dang thing at one of them.
Interesting. Okay.
So not, and again, the flip shows are different. All the shows are going to be at different places. So after doing the Antioch show quite a bit, your bread and butter is going to be singles, but you do have a lot of high-end people in Nashville. So, it's like I said, no show's the same. I could have 5 of those people come up and I have exactly what they're looking for. I could have, 6 people with binders and they need to complete the set and I have all the, IRs or graybacks, whatever you want to call them. They're all sitting on the left and they go pick out like 5 of them because they all need them. That's the thing. Like you never know who's going to come up to your table, what someone's looking for. When it comes to sealed, I have an outlet for it. Whenever I pick it up, it's already gone. That's the only thing I really touch that I don't really keep, unless it's like prismatic or something. That would be the only way I would keep it.
Yep.
Okay.
For me, so I started doing selling like sealed, and I didn't like being on eBay. I didn't see a lot of success on it, so I switched to singles, and I've never looked back. I enjoy. I have some sealed, but I usually see it more as like a long-term value holder. For example, at the National, I pretty much sold off all my sealed because I didn't really want it anymore, and I wanted to invest it into slabs. So for me, like Jackson said, singles are like a bread and butter. They're kind of like something that will always like hopefully sell. And then also something too, which that I find very valuable is having like dollar binders, which I know Abe kind of put me on that. And what I like about the dollar binder is they you might have those people that are looking for those random like master setting cards, and you have that. If you have that in a binder, you might sell like $51 cards over the course of a show or the course of a weekend, and that will add up greatly over time. So that's kind of my view on it.
Got it.
Cool. Yeah, and then Big, I muted you real quick. I'm gonna unmute you, but there was like some static noise coming through. You should be unmuted now. Sorry about that. But kind of like what everybody said, right, Victor? It just depends. I like to go in with a plan nowadays. Be very strategic on what is it that you're trying to achieve at the end of the day, regardless of what foot traffic's gonna come in. Kind of have a plan. One of the things that I've been doing now. Is just being very intentional with my shows, right? So, Lighthouse show, I know that, or just the market right now. A lot of people want to look for singles to grade, right? A lot of people might be well. Let's keep it at the Lighthouse show. The Lighthouse show, yes, you might have some big guys who are coming in. I know probably like 3 or 4 people that come in and they don't care what they're spending. They're just boom, boom, boom. I need Charizards. Boom. They're coughing out 2 Gs, 3 Gs. But it's very rare to have that person come in every single show, right? So you'll see what kind of crowd comes in. You'll get a better feel of what's going to be working for you. And I guess this kind of ties into one of your questions where you said, what are the buying percentages and what should I be selling for and all that good stuff. I really think that you'll get a feel. And going back to the question you said, you don't know what you don't know, right? It's all going to come down to experience. You're going to have to experience your first show. You're going to have to experience your shows a couple of times to kind of see what's really working for you. I've got a few people who come in and they're looking for commons and uncommons and reverse hollows because they're the master set collectors. I got people who like the cute stuff. I got people who like the Eevee stuff, right? So I cater to them. Once you get that little specific crowd, I think you'll be able to be a little bit more intentional with where you're going, what you're trying to accomplish. But to answer your question in general, what I've been seeing right now, I've been stuck on YouTube way more than I should, but the sealed market right now is really, really hot, right?
Yeah.
Why? Because even distributors can't get their hands on the product. The stores can't get their hands on the product. So if you have a lot of sealed right now, there was some dude at Nationals who got bought out of all his sealed. Rocco, I don't know if you saw him, but he was all the way to the left with his lady, and two dudes just went over.
I saw. Yeah, he was in our row, right?
Yeah, they bought
Yeah, I know
all
who
the
you're
Searching
talking about.
Sparks.
Yeah.
They bought everything.
That's why he
And
left
then,
early.
yeah. And then TNLG, you're familiar with TNLG, right, Victor?
Next Level Games, Madison.
Yeah.
Next one.
So those guys, they were buying sealed left and right. Everybody's buying sealed left and right. So I think if you have a lot of sealed, it is a perfect time to get rid of it. But also following the market, right? I think Jackson's is really good with that. I like following the market too. I'm a numbers guy. I trade, I day trade, and I crypto, all that stuff. So I'm kind of honestly incorporating that into Pokemon. Which nowadays, I think it's crazy. But if people are going into sealed, it's becoming harder to obtain. Prices of the sealed product are only going to go up, right? So yes, you can get rid of a lot of stuff, but what's happening right now, you get rid of something right now, and in 2-3 weeks, it just skyrocketed, right? So it's also knowing your numbers, knowing your inventory, know what you're flexible with. I just finished seeing Rocco's and Jackson's podcast, and one thing that really stuck with me, what Jackson said, is it shouldn't matter. And you didn't say this, Jackson, but I'm kind of rephrasing, but it shouldn't matter what the market is doing as long as you're plussing, right?
Yeah.
Just continue to
more
plus.
than you buy for.
Yeah,
Sure.
just continue to plus, continue to plus, continue to plus. Why? Because market's going to repeat itself. As long as you're buying at a certain percentage and you're making some money on the buy, which is the most important thing, you'll continuously be on the green side. So don't really pay too much attention to what's going on, because I've been guilty of that. I'm holding on to cards that I probably shouldn't. But at the same time, make those numbers work for you, right? If you can muster having $1,000 of sealed product away and it's not affecting your business, then hey, by all means, all good for that. But if it's really hindering you from making more money, just like Jackson mentioned, just sell that stuff, make your profit, go pick up some more, continue to make profit that way.
Cool. Makes a lot of sense.
The best way I looked at it too is like, if it's hard to say, because you like Abe said, like right on the dot said, if it's going up and products can't get it, because I'm pretty sure Target's not even going to have any sealed here soon.
I don't think anybody's going to have sealed.
Yeah, I think they're like stopping, like they're not going to have any of it in store. So, and the distributors are destroying local card shops, so they're not getting the what they need.
The allocation they should be. Yeah,
exactly. So, with that being said, too, I would say I'm against PC if you're in this for business wise. Like, I'm not for it. I don't like PC for that reason, because
when you say PC, do you mean Pokemon Center or personal collection stuff?
Personal collection. I'm against it. If you're actually going to try to make money, like real money with this, don't have a PC unless you can, like Abe said, afford to have $1,000, worth of seal, or $1,000 boxes just sitting there. Sure. I just got into booster boxes, and I'm like holding some. I have 2 Expo Evolutions and Ancient Origins booster box. Those are kind of what I'm holding. I think they're really undervalued, but I can take that $1,000 box, go buy slabs with it, and make 1,200. Flip it again, make 14. Flip it again, make it 18. I can do that faster than that box will go up to 1,200. And that's just the way I look at it. Now, that's kind of like my savings. The booster boxes, I kind of look at that as my savings. It's a, rainy day, like my car messed up, sell a box.
Yeah, the booster box and some of the bigger sealed are more long term. They're going to grow slower, but they're going to hold that initial amount pretty well.
Yes, and that's the way I look at it too. As in, like, what is it? Is it worth me holding it? Do I need it? If I'm low on spending money, and let's say Rocco wants to sell out, and I got to buy him out, and I don't have the cash for it, those boxes are gone. That's just kind of
Got
the
it.
way I kind of will view it. But I'm not against it. If you are a collector, like you said, you're trying to fund the hobby. I'm all for you having a PC. That's the whole part of it. It's a hobby for a reason. Now I did start doing this full time, so my mindset has like changed. Like when it comes to, is it worth holding? How much money is this? How much do I have in it? Is it stopping me from making 1,000 more a month?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the way I look at it. And what Abe said was right on the dot. When you got to look at this as in stocks, I have money in crypto. XRP tanked last week or like 2 weeks ago. Tanked. I'm over there sitting scratching my head like, damn, should I double down? And now it's back up to 2.77 this morning.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there like an idiot because it was sitting at 2.11. But like everyone knows it will go back up, and I didn't do it. So that's what I'm saying. Like if the market's real high right now, no, it can go down, and no, it can go back up.
Yeah.
But it's kind of reading between the lines, like Abe said, that if places can't get it, it's just going to go up. Prismatic evolutions. Everyone's like, oh, it's going to go down to this, and this. I'm like, no, it won't.
Not anytime soon. Yeah.
No, they won't. I don't think they'll ever catch up with it. We're in another Pokemon, like,
2020,
boom.
2021. Yeah.
Exactly. I don't think we're there yet, but we're getting there. Once vintage is what I would grab right now. I have a ton of
That's
it.
what I've
So
been buying a
vintage is
lot
my
of,
next
actually.
call. Yes, vintage is my next. Like I'm calling vintage to come up. It's the only thing that hasn't jumped other than gold stars. But have you noticed it went modern, gold stars, and I think we're about to hit like the first editions and all that stuff again. And I do think if you're looking at megas as an option to maybe hold or whatever, that's another good one too. I think like I had a Mega Mewtwo EX. I think it was like the X or Y one. I sold it to Chase Watkins. In my head, I'm like, why am I selling this? It's only $400 in a 10, and there's less than 400 of them. Why am I selling it? You know what I'm saying? But again, it's all about what you think is going to go up. And I could be wrong. No one's a professional at this.
No.
So that's just how I look at it too. So don't take everything I say like as this is true. Like no, I've been wrong plenty of times, and I will be wrong plenty of times more.
Educated guesses.
Yes, educated. And Victor, what I also say too is something that I'm sure you're hearing a lot, and kind of that I realized as I started getting more deep into the space is very much that the people that are in this space kind of consider, like a lot of us are like crypto bros, like I'm a crypto guy too, or a lot of us are like stock people, or like it all kind of revolves the same thing. And how I like to look at sealed is like a gold bar kind of, if you think about it, where it's like, or like an S&P 500 or like something like that, where it's like it's a physical thing that will retain value, but and over time will go up because it usually does. Like it'll become out of print, it'll be whatever. And then you have like singles or slabs, and some of those are like your Bitcoins or your Ethereums or your XRPs or your Cardanos or your blue chip stocks or whatever it might be. And those things will go in the market. And also another thing why I think sealed is so scarce right now is because I don't think Pokemon was prepared for the amount of hype that was going to happen. And that has happened in the couple years, or not years, but a couple months that has happened since Surging Sparks. And that is the reason why everything is going crazy. And there was one last thing I was going to say. I forgot about that. Anyway, but that's kind of what takeaways from that.
Appreciate that,
Rocco, didn't I talk about on the podcast Big Justice doing boxes and stuff?
Yeah. Victor, I'll send you that podcast after this. And yeah,
we kind of talked about it for a little bit.
Yeah, I love watching Rocco's podcast because it gives you an inside view to other people. You get to know him a little bit more. But I love having his videos in the background and just working, just sorting through bulk and whatnot.
It's fun. And I remember what I was going to say is, for example, Shrouded Fable blew up last week. I had a Shrouded Fable ETB for, let's see, I bought it when it dropped, so I don't know whenever Shrouded Fable dropped, but that thing I was in the red for months. And now I was like gonna bring in the national, but Jackson was like, "Nah, don't sell it." I was like, "Okay, sure." You know what? I mean, it's like it's more space, so I just won't bring it. And that thing has blown up. So now I'm in the green on that off my initial buy and investment. So it's just, you don't know, like not everything, it's going to change a day-to-day basis, and not everyone knows exactly what's going to happen. But for sealed, for me, it's more like a retainer of value.
No, that makes sense. I got lucky with Shrouded Fable, and I got a case of the
Yeah.
PC ETBs a week before they sold out because I had a feeling it would go up. So I've got more sealed Shrouded Fable in my closet than I really want to have, and so I'm going to hope to get rid of it soon. So
Yeah, if you want to get rid of it, I'll take it all.
At 60%, right?
No, hell,
35 cash right now.
dude, 10%, 10%.
And check it out. So just to kind of give you a little bit more stats behind the sealed, just to kind of give you an idea, it's hard to say you should get rid of it right now because Obsidian Flames ETB, bro, this is just the regular one. On TCG, they're already at $90. That's fucking
wild.
insane.
There's
That's
nothing
wild.
in that set. There's nothing in
Yeah,
But I
nothing
think
crazy to chase.
I think they're predicting the Charizard, and this is going to speculation and what you really some of it makes sense, right? One of the crazy stories. I don't know if I'm sure I've mentioned it to a few of you, but that Charizard to me inside the Obsidian Flames, the one with the crown looking all crazy, I think it's low key. I think it's a gorgeous card, and I think it's undervalued. So a lot of people, what they're looking at is okay. I can get this Charizard out of 10. It's like 450. You know, the chances of me pulling it is going to be amazing. It's still cheap right now. I can still buy it.
It's like
pull
a
it,
$60
grade
or
it.
$70 card, right? I mean, it's not a crazy.
It's 75. It's $75
Okay.
right now, but
It was like
it wasn't
$40 2 months ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I honestly think that card's going to get to $100.
Yeah, beautiful
Easy.
card.
Easy.
Yeah, definitely will.
And then that PSA 10, if it's at 400 right now, I can see that shooting up to like 1,000. Obviously, you know, this is wishful thinking, but it'll be 1,000. I don't even know how to say it anymore. Like 6 months, I give it like 6 months or a year, it'll hit probably $1,000. But
That's what happened with
this is-
151. So
yeah, this is all the hype and people wanting to grade cards and getting more into it and all that stuff. But this is a great topic to talk about, right? Like what can we predict that's going to happen? I think one of our calls should be as crazy as this, but again, to respect everybody's time, I know we're at 3:52. I know I said that we were only going to be an hour here. Just want to check in with everybody. Everybody good? Everybody need to step away? Anybody go take a leak?
I
or
didn't
anything
even
like that?
I didn't realize what time it was.
Dude, I said, I'm
that's
gonna
I have-
fly.
This is what I love to do. So I'm just chilling. So I'll take
Victor,
as
you
much
good, or
time
do you
as
need?
you want.
Yeah, no, it's the weekend. I don't typically
Cool.
work on the weekends, so yeah, I'm just chilling. All good.
Cool. So just want to go over what we've talked about, how to get a hold of Jeff, what's easier to sell right now, best way to increase your inventory. I kind of think we touched the bases on that, you know, shows online, relationships, network. What I kind of wanted to spend a little bit more time on was 4 and 5, right? 4, this is the time where I'm going to give you the floor to go ahead and just ask away. I know you mentioned you don't know what you don't know regarding the business or the shows. So I'll give the floor to you. Feel free to ask some questions, and whoever wants to chime in and talk about it, feel free to do so.
Yeah, sure. I'll try and make it as brief as I can. I think it boils down to a few things, and one of those would be inventory tracking. I mean, I've used the Collector app, and it seems like a pretty easy way to kind of keep track of things and keep track of, you know, what not only what I have in it, but also, you know, what current comps are. And I don't think it's perfectly accurate, but I think it does a semi-decent job of giving you a point of reference. I also have a physical book because I'm old, I guess, and so I have like a physical ledger where I write down what I buy, where I buy it from, and what I spend on it.
Yeah.
So the IRS can't say that I owe them $100,000 at the end of the year. And then, so I think that's question one is inventory tracking. I think question two is, you know, what surprises or things did you find out when you went to your first show that you were like, you know, darn, I wish I would have had a heads up about that. Like, you know, things you didn't bring, things you did bring, stuff you didn't need. So I think those are the two biggest things that come to top of mind.
Cool. And Rocco, I saw you smiling. I'm going to go ahead and let you spearhead the first question regarding inventory tracking. And then I kind of want to hear a little bit from Jackson afterwards, because I know that question was brought up, but during the podcast, I don't know if you really did answer it or not, Jackson. But go ahead, Rocco.
Okay, well, first. Can I share my screen on this or no?
You can. It's under. You on your phone or your computer?
I'm on my phone.
Check to see if there's an option. I don't know if there's a way to do it on your phone, but on your computer for sure. And
Oh
Sam,
wait,
I
hold
muted
up.
you.
I can.
Sam, I muted you again. I don't know. There's like static coming through, but
I
I'll unmute
hold
you
up.
just to check right now.
I could probably. It's fine. I was just gonna send a picture of a show, like my first show, my first Lighthouse show, and how
You
my
can
inventory was.
you can
So
you can post it in the chat,
yeah, that's what I was thinking. Let me just find it. That was feels like forever ago, but it was not.
bro. I love
Uh,
that picture though. I love it for many
nah,
reasons.
it's so fun. It's let's see. Dang, what was that? That was no, that was November. Yeah, there it is. Okay, cool. I will post this in. Let's see. Can I just copy the photo? Okay, copy
Yeah, you should be able to
and
just paste.
then paste. Okay, but pretty much this. So this was my first inventory. This was how my first inventory looked. I didn't even have a case, and because of that, I didn't have like a concrete way to track inventory. But I feel like for everyone it's different. Obviously, for me coming from eBay, my inventory is already on the eBay. And I have a list of my sales, and then every month I get a report of this is what I sold, this is what not. This is what sold, this is what didn't. But what I learned from Abe and from Jackson is the power of spreadsheets. Um, so for example, I have a spreadsheet and I need to learn more about this. But for example, I have multiple spreadsheets. Usually I have a spreadsheet for a show. So for example, for the Nationals, I have a spreadsheet that says like my total list of inventory and sale, like what's the listed price, what's the price sold at, what did I buy, etc. And then so I have a spreadsheet for each show. And then I have a like a big balance sheet pretty much for like tax and IRS reasons, which pretty much have, my assets, my liabilities, my eBay monthly statements, my sales, either through claim sales or through shows or whatever. And that's kind of like my master spreadsheet. But also for singles, if you're doing singles, using an app like TCG Player will automatically, and using their scan feature, they will automatically keep track the current market price of your collection of your cards. And that is also very helpful because one, if I'm putting a spreadsheet, I can pretty much copy and paste that list into my spreadsheet and it's already there for me. Or I can just pull up my phone or my iPad or whatever it's listed on during the show and be like, oh, you want that card? Okay, that card is $45 according to TCG Player Market. And then they'll pay me. So that's usually how I use it. But spreadsheets is very important. I need to get better at it, obviously, like I've said, but like what the inventory is, what the percentage I bought, what the price I bought, what's the percentage I sold, and what's the price I sold. Pretty much easy breakdown.
Yeah, and I
That
think the
helps.
biggest difference between collector and TCG player is that aspect where you can export and import list. I don't know if collector does that.
Interesting. I was wondering if there's an export function when I was adding everything in, because I was like, it'd be really nice to be able to do that.
Also,
For exactly
collector's
that reason.
buggy, I think, right now. I
Okay.
know during national, people weren't using collector because the interface was not updated to market standards during last weekend. So I don't know if they're still like that, but I usually don't use collector or price charting. I just use TCG Player and then I use Alt, which use
Okay.
eBay last. Alt uses is for slabs, and Alt uses eBay last sold, and will give you like the medium and the last like couple sales.
Okay. Very cool.
Yeah, collector's cool because it does keep track of your prices and it gives you charts and all that stuff. So there's a few things that I do like collector, but business wise, yeah, I think spreadsheets is just gonna be black and white, right? You're gonna be able to export, import different types of sheets and whatnot. Jackson, I know you went off mute. I don't know if you went away. I know you're busy, but if you aren't, if you can share how you keep track of shit.
Man, I don't even use a spreadsheet for raw. I refuse to. It's just too much. at some times. So all I do is track my slabs, and that's the only way I pay myself is through slab sales. Which does make it tough, but like I've had crazy months. So I mean, it's I don't really track it. I just whenever I buy a card, okay, for example, Bubble Mew. I had bought 3 in one lot. I bought them for I bought them for 480, 500, and 500. When I bought them, they sat for 3 weeks, and then the boom happened. Then they were selling for 800. Sold one for 780, and then another boom happened, and it sold for like 950. Whenever I do my spreadsheet, the only thing I really do is just kind of log the sale of when I bought it versus when I sold it, the percentage it went up, all this that. I like collector. Going back to what he said, like collector, I like it, but I don't. Um, it's more of like a collector app. Literally, like if you're collecting, it doesn't really pull a great market value because it pulls from eBay. When we all go off TCG, it's going to pull off eBay sales and all that, which sometimes can match, but with the market trend going up, it's kind of hard to keep up with it right now. But yeah, spreadsheets are what I use, but I only track slabs.
When you say spreadsheets, are you all talking about like an app called Spreadsheets, or are you talking about like Excel or something?
Just like
I
Google
use
Sheets
Excel.
or Excel or whatever. Same. All
Okay,
that stuff. Yeah.
cool. And then with that, maybe just one small sidebar question. When we're talking about comps, I noticed that when I look at a lot of cards, especially things that have a little bit more intrinsic value or something that isn't super recent, it seems like people will still try and use TCG Player to price comp. But like I'll notice that, if I compare eBay versus TCG Player, there might be 4 sales on TCG Player, all at a higher price, but eBay may have 40 sales in the last 90 days of the exact same card with prices that vary quite a bit differently. Do you all balance the two, or do you stick to one of the two, or how do you all do that?
Are you talking about singles or for slabs?
That's a good question. I think singles primarily. I think slabs are a little easier to look up on eBay because I think I only really use eBay for slabs.
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
personally just you go, Jackson.
I mean, when it comes to that, it depends on what you're selling at. So if let's say you're a vendor and you're selling based off of eBay sales, you can buy off based on eBay sales. Um,
I see. Okay.
I don't, I don't really look at it like that because with eBay they don't do condition. They might have it in description, but not all of them are the same. With TCG, when a sale goes through, it has to be verified. This card was near mint. This card was LP. This card was MP. All that. So there is more of like I don't know, like a easier
A
to see
standard.
rewarded. Yeah, there's a standard to it, and that's why I kind of
Okay.
like it.
Okay.
With eBay, you might be having a description of, oh, this card was LP, it sold for this, but then the other two are near mint. There's a dollar
Yeah.
difference on a $40 card. I don't know. That's just the kind of the way I look at it. If you're selling based off eBay, do your thing. But I feel like 80% of people now are using TCG to really price and sell and buy cards based off TCG with Raw.
Good to know. Okay. Cool.
And then just to piggyback on what everybody said, so I use both, right? I use both. Why? Because you can get live sales off of TCG. TCG Player, don't know if you're familiar, Victor, but if you are, stop me at any moment. But the 3-month snapshot, are you familiar with that on TCG Player?
Where you can look at how many sales were in the last 3 months. Is that
Yeah,
kind of
so
what you're
you
talking
just
about?
yeah, so
Yeah.
you just do view more, and what I do, and I let the seller know, right? If I'm selling you something and I'm averaging it out off of the last 7 sold sales, recent comps, I expect you, when you do business with me, to do the same and meet in the fair ground, right? Because some people
Sure.
will be like I'll use Charizard 151 just because I have it up, right? Some people be like, hey, well, Marcus says it's 260, 128, I'm like, all right. Well, the reason why they got that is because there was a recent sell for 299, right? And it's only one sell for 299. And welcome to whoever just joined. But does that 299 really, speak with everybody else? All the other sales are 240, 250, 230, 289. So there's 2 sales that bump that up, right? So I'll just get the average of that. And same thing with eBay, right? I average the last as many as I can find. The more numbers you do, the more accurate of an average number that you're going to get. And I always say that the more transparent you are with the person, and going back to what Jackson said on the podcast, is being upfront with them, being polite, explaining why is it that you're getting this number. It goes a long way, right? Instead of just saying, "Well, no, your number's too high, bye," right? Always being transparent with them, showing them the data, letting them know what's going on and what you're going based off of, and then usually you'll meet at a fair number for both. But then again, going back to your question, right? Where do you buy? Where do you sell at? Just make sure the numbers make sense to you, right? Don't try to force a sell. Don't try to make something happen just because you think you need to. One of the things that I was told, one of the things that I know Jackson tells Rocco, is don't ever feel pressured to do something that you don't want to do. You know, going back to what Sam says, right? Selling, getting bought out at a certain percentage, yeah, that's fine, but what are you going to do after you sell out, right? The grind starts all over again. If you can find that card again, it just gets crazy. So just make sure those numbers make sense to you, and at the end of the day, you can sleep on it too. You don't want to go back home and say, "Oh, damn, you know, I should have not done that deal." You want to make sure you're happy with yourselves.
Yeah, and I'll say something relating to buyout. So the National, like 2 people approached me pretty much offering to buy me out, and I said no to both of them. And that's because, one, I'm just starting, and yeah, great for me, especially being so young. Like, I see the cash and I'm like, oh wow, that's crap. I've never seen that much cash in my life. But like Abe said, you have to start over again. And especially in this market where everything's high, you don't want to start over because you're going to have to start at a higher cost than what you did. I started like right before the boom happened. It's kind of crazy. But you have to you have to calculate pretty much ahead what you're gonna what the game plan is after something like that happens. And mostly people who will buy people out will buy them out at a certain percentage, and sometimes that percentage might not sit with you well, but you just need the cash right away, so you do it. So just always never let anyone kind of force you into a deal, and just always plan your next couple of moves ahead.
Sure, makes sense.
Any questions regarding that? And then I'll move to your second question about what we wish we knew about shows before attending them.
No, I think I could run tangents for the next 3 hours with you guys about this, but no, I think that's a pretty good summarization of. I think there's a lot of good info. So no, I appreciate it.
Abe, do you mind if I chime in?
Of course not. Go right ahead, sir.
So I'm kind of hypocritical when it comes to being bought out. And you know, they didn't say it. When it comes to sales, don't always just look at sales as being the main thing. When you build your inventory up, think about trades. Trades and buys are almost the same thing, but you give the person that's wanting to trade or buy, you give them a higher percentage on trade. If I have a $2,000 card and I want to trade it, okay, well, he's giving me all tart 10s. I can move to 85%. It's essentially like you're buying these cards at 85%, but your margin will be lower when you receive them. That's why I don't like being bought out. I'm very hypocritical because I will buy anybody out that wants to be bought out. If we can agree to a number,
we don't have that kind of money yet. That's why we can't be hypocritical yet.
Bro, give me the summer. Give me until the summer.
That's just the way I look at it, and I'm all for. If you want to get bought out, that's cool. Like, do your thing. I just don't look at it like the normal person does. Because yes, it's money, and if you're making green, I love it. But at the same time, kind of like what Abe and Rocco said, you have to. The hustle starts again. You do have a lot more cash in your hand, which is wonderful, but you don't get to sit up at shows. And like whenever I, gave Sam the offer to be bought out, it made sense. He has a flip show come up in 2 weeks, and I was like, "That's cool, man. It's fine." Like, I completely understand. I'm the same way. If it was the last show, and let's say, okay, Collecticon, the last show I think it's in Houston, I would really think about being bought out just because all I have is Antioch shows coming up. I'm like, okay, that's fine. I can just buy everything back. But right now it's, mid-season, the Collecticon had just started. I wouldn't want to be bought out, and I would want to trade. I love trades because person that maybe
you keep inventory
cards,
and you make some on the side, kind of, right?
Exactly.
I mean,
yes, I
a
boost my
win-win.
inventory, I can fill up more cases. Realistically, I want to fill up 5 tables full of cards. That's where I want to be at the end of the year. I want 5 tables full of cards. And I want to have someone I'm going to work for me.
Got it.
But I can't do that if I sell out. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
You got me and Rocco.
And again, I don't. And again, I don't
Take
hate on
me to
anyone selling
Collecticon,
out.
please.
And again, I don't hate on anybody that does sell out. I think if the money makes sense to you, and like the boom happened with the IRs, dude.
Yeah.
I could have sold at 50% and still tripled my money on some of these cards. So like the drowsy, dude, that card shot up like 20x.
It's still climbing.
It's funny. I had that card.
That was a meme coin,
I had
bro.
Few of those. I had a few of those in 10s because I was like, man, this is a cool card. And I remember bringing it to the lighthouse, and people. It was Josh was one of the people. He was like, yeah, listen, man, I've got no interest in that at all. It's no thanks. And it's funny how it goes with those cards. I mean, you just don't know.
Yeah.
What the market's
I'll
going to do.
collect that. I'll take them all. Is it like that's the thing too? Like some people don't pick up stuff, and I'm like that sometimes too. I won't pick up certain things because it shoots up so fast. Because like Rocco and Abe both know, when a card goes up or a coin goes up that fast, there will be people that sell out.
And then the market's going to have a lot more of them flooded, and
Same thing happened with Prismatic too. When that box came out, it was like $140 on release. Oh, not on release. Wow. It was like what on pre-release. So people that are looking at it like, oh, it's going to go down. I'm like, yeah, it'll go down to like $100, which I knew it would, and it shot right back up. So now it's at 120 or something like that now. So it's like, I don't mean it like in a bad way when I say like I don't sell out. I'm hypocritical. It's just when I'm vending, it's not worth me, selling out, because I might make, since I do this full time, I might make $20,000, $50,000 when selling out. But at the same time, like now I have no income. I got to go spend like half of that to now go do the same thing I was doing. But I'd rather keep my inventory to keep the profits coming every month.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense.
That's the way I look at it. And again, you don't have to do what I do. Just take it as you want. Like if you have one show this whole year, and after the show you want us to get bought out, heck yeah, do it. That's just, that's the way
I've done it a couple of times, right? And in the couple of times that I've done it, I mean, I also do believe if you want to take a break and spend 3, 4, 5 months just hanging out, having a good time, enjoying life, I'm the perfect example of that. I took a 6 months break, got bought out, but because the numbers made sense to me, right? The only thing that is the uphill climb is just restocking, getting all your inventory. But the cool thing is that once you've proven yourself that your methods work, then you believe that you can come back, and like what I always say, cards are always going to come back. Don't be afraid of getting rid of a card, because they will come back. Maybe more than it should, but they will definitely come back.
That's a good tidbit. It's going to come back, so don't catastrophize over it.
Yeah, don't dwell on it. They will come back. Like my Gold Star Latias has come around twice since I first had it. So it was fun.
The one I bought?
Yeah, I've had it twice. I've had it twice, 2 times raw, 1 I graded.
Oh, I was gonna say the same one. I was like, I sent that to Florida.
Well, you know what I mean. Like the same physical card won't come back, but the opportunity to purchase it, will come back.
Exactly.
I was like, no way. Yeah. I thought you got the same card. I was like, there's no way.
No, not the same card. That would be interesting though. Kind of like what GoPose is. It would be awesome to buy your original certs back. That's a goal right there. That would be dope. That'd be dope. But going on to your second question, unless anybody has anything to chime into, I think we're good. Sam, you good? You still here with us?
Yeah, I'm still here. Real quick on the whole, I think I may have missed it, but when you're talking about setting up and everything, I recommend to always have sleeves, top loaders, and team bags, because no one comes prepared to haul away 10 cards with them. And also, people will come up with you with a Gardevoir SIR in no sleeve, and you've got to go somewhere.
Yes. Oh my goodness! Yes,
a war crime right there.
Yeah.
Well,
I guess this goes into the show thing. Sorry, go ahead.
Did we talk about cases any?
Right now
Dave,
we're
I
getting
think me
into
and
that,
you use the same case as the one from Amazon.
dude.
Yeah.
Everybody's on it now.
Hack, bro.
Everybody's
It's a
on them now.
Everyone like I knew around here was like, man, those cases are so simple and ugly. I don't know why you have them. And I actually had a guy at one show tell me, he's like, I think you're not getting a lot of views because of these cases. Like, they look cheap, so you're not getting them.
Yeah,
And this show, like, everyone had them, and everyone's
yeah.
been hitting me up. I bought more for this last show because I was afraid so many people were buying them that they were going to run out on Amazon.
That's
Yep,
hilarious.
yep. No, it's funny. I remember when I first brought them into Lighthouse, everybody's like, "What is that? Is this really the bulletin board that you see at schools?" I'm like, "Hell yeah! How much did you pay for your case?" Oh, now you're quiet.
And also,
Yeah.
I've never had one of mine break, but
And
I've
it's
seen plenty
easy.
of glass break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what we're talking about, Victor, are those literally, it's a bulletin poster
I'll put
cases.
the link.
Yeah, look it up. And then Rocco,
they're-
if you've been
They're
If you've been-
perpetually in my cart.
yeah, if you've been linking stuff on the chat, let me know which chat because I haven't seen your pictures and stuff.
Oh, really? I've just been putting it in the chat connected to this call.
Oh, okay. That's why I can't see it. But okay, if you guys want to go see all the pictures and stuff Rocco's been posting, they're there. But I guess this is a good segue to your second question then, Victor. You know, what we wish we knew before attended shows, and just like Sam said, I always carry top loaders, sleeves, brown bags, even those PSA sleeves, just because, you know, not
I've taken
everybody's
so many.
yeah, not everybody's pro. If you're doing raws and singles like us peasants over here, Jackson can't relate, but
Oh my! Wow. No, I sell plenty of small cards. I'm more than half of my inventory is that.
but it's nice, you know. That goes into the whole customer service. How do you treat your people? They come back to you, all that good stuff. But like Sam says, just be prepared. You'll be picking up cards. I think the other day, little kid had a Gardevoir EX from Paldea, and it wasn't in a sleeve, and I was like, let me get that in a sleeve real quick, you know.
I had to do that
But-
for some hockey card kids at National. I
Yeah,
packaged
and then
up everything for them.
yeah, it's nice. I mean, going into the question, I was like, one of the things that I like to bring in is just extras, right? Just bring in extras. I used to bring stickers. I need to bring stickers, but this is just the cherry on top, right? Any interaction. Here's a card for your kid. Here's this for your kid. Here's a top loader. Here's a sleeve. Here's a
People
bag.
don't forget that either.
No,
Okay.
they love it, dude. I mean, they love it. You know, you take care of my kid, I'm gonna remember that. You know.
Yeah.
Bring snacks. Definitely bring snacks.
Yes.
Right, Rocco?
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Yeah.
I always tell Rocco, bring snacks. Whatever you need, just
Bring
bring
snacks, but don't eat them all in the first hour of the show like I do.
Y'all bring snacks. I don't even eat. I just sit there and suffer for like 5 hours. I have a coffee and then that's it.
I need to start bringing my mate, bro. Oh, that stuff is good, bro.
Yeah, but
Lucky will bring like full on sushi, dude. I'm like cracking up. He's over there
That's
killing sushi or
crazy.
something. Yeah, he like
Hey.
made homemade sushi or something. I was like, I don't even know what it was. It's like stuff you shit like the shit you see on anime. Like it was like a little like kind of like half an arrow looking thing with a little seaweed in the middle. No idea what it was.
the
I'm
rice
half
balls.
Asian.
The
I
rice
think
balls.
I don't know. I'm half Asian. Don't even know what it is. So
Yeah, I think rice balls. Those are bomb. I need to learn how to make those. They're hard to make.
we had a whole thing of them.
But anyhow, I'll go down the road and then I'll answer some more as well. But Rocco, what is one thing that you were surprised about a show that you wish you would have known? And it could be transactional. It could be things that you wish you brought. It can be things that you encountered.
Okay, so, well, obviously the first thing for me was have a case, because my first show I didn't have a case, so that was probably like one of the big things, which is kind of obvious.
The display cases.
Yes,
or
I
the
have
carry
display
case.
cases. No, a display case. And also, so on the first Win Boba Tea trade day that I participated in was in December, and at the end of it, I had a case and stuff, so I was more prepared. I had binders, I had all that type of stuff. But something that Jackson pointed out to me at the end of the show, because that's when I kind of first met him, and we talked. I bought some stuff, did a little deal with him, is that having a full case is more important than having than what is in the case. So for example, how I was doing it is I had all my dollar cards were in a binder, then all my cards $5 to $10 were in a binder, and then everything over $10 was in a case. And that's good if you have a lot of inventory. But if you don't, like how I was starting off, sometimes it's better to put those like $5 to $10 cards in the case, because people are going, when they see a full case, it's going to catch their eyes and they're going to be driven to that, and then they're going to look in your case. Whether if they see an empty case, they're going to be like, oh, that guy probably doesn't have anything that I'm looking for. So kind of doing that, I don't want to say mental manipulation, but using that mental game to attract more customers to your booth, and bring snacks, obviously. And what was the last thing I was going to say? Bring snacks and be polite. Be polite, obviously, is a given. And bring. I work at a grocery store, and it's Publix is the name. I don't know if you know Publix, but I work at a Publix as a cashier. And something they ingrain in all of us is like over the top customer service, and I like to bring that pretty much everywhere I go in any form of business. So over the top customer service, making sure that your people are taken care of, giving those free packs to the kids or those free cards to the kids, having stickers, having your business cards. Hey, here's my card. I've had multiple people come up to me and be like, wow, that's so professional that you have a business card. So just like those little things add up to make, one, your presence known, and two, if you're super nice, like that parent's going to see, oh wow, you're super nice to this kid. Can I see what you have? Maybe I can buy something from it to repay you. So stuff like that, just being nice to people, being kind, and making sure that you have a full case.
I bet I
Cool.
made $100 extra at the Nash show from giving kids like $3 or $4 cards, and then the parents were like, "Well, what about this $20 card here? Let me pay for that." I'm like, "You don't have to," and it's all, you will always get paid back. Now, like if you're $1 or $2 into it, you're still losing money, but they're going to come back to you next show also and do it again.
Yeah, exactly.
What I love personally doing is if I hear this is my first show, I'm like, have you walked the whole thing? And they say no. I said, I won't sell you anything. They have to go walk the whole show.
That's pretty cool.
I don't want anyone to spend all their money with just one person. Like we did that a ton at Collecticon, a ton.
Yeah.
Because like I don't want to sell, like if it's your first time and you can't go buy what you want after because you spent all your money. Why would I want to sell you anything? I want you to enjoy the show.
Yeah.
Like even if it
Makes a
isn't
lot of sense.
Collecticon, even if it's at Antioch, people's first show, that's an amazing first show for people.
Yeah.
Considering there's probably $300,000 worth of Pokemon easily in that room.
Yeah. Yeah, I bet.
So that's just the way I look at it too. And like how Sam says, give them $1 and then they buy a $20 card. Even though it's not expected, it's still amazing because you might be losing $1, but I mean, with that $20 card, you're making $6. So you're making $4 on a $20 card. Like it adds up.
Yeah, it's cheap marketing.
Exactly.
More or less. Yeah.
Cool. And then just to get more to like the business side of thing, bring change.
Yes.
How much do you bring in change? I mean, I'm sure it's like relates to the amount you expect to sell or what your inventory is. But like, I mean, what's a
change.
reasonable amount of change?
So last night,
if you're Jackson, you bring $1,000.
If you're Jackson, for me, $100 to $120 is usually good, because also what I bring in change as well is also what I'll use to maybe for that first like hour of a show, is that's what I'm using to buy stuff if people are coming with me to buy things.
Okay.
So usually 100 to 120. For me, that's worked because usually I'm generating enough revenue by the second hour of the show that it kind of pays for itself.
Okay. Yeah, I usually bring like 25 singles, like 50 or 40 and fives. Bring 100 and 10s, and then the rest 20s and 100s. Because then you get this. Then you get some people's like, oh, do you have 100s? I don't want to get paid on all 20s, right? But the cool thing is, worst case scenario, usually everybody next to you, they got change. So If you
Or
ever
you can
forget one
Venmo
day,
them or Cash App or whatever.
yeah, it's
So
rare
all
when
that
you have
stuff.
somebody where, you know what, no, I kind of need the cash, and you're like, okay, well, give me a second. But yeah, change,
Okay.
bring change. What's another thing? I mean, I took it a step further this year. I actually got my account ready to go. I got a card reader and all that good stuff.
Yes, I need to do that.
The car reader, that gonna do. They gotta step up my game now. I don't want to buy that.
Yeah, no, I'll hook you up. I'm at US Bank, so I can hook you guys all up. So, and not to self promote, but US Bank, they have this product called the Business Essentials, and it charges you as the business. It only charges you 2.9% per transaction. It doesn't matter what dollar amount it is. And it's just for those people who really want to pay with the credit card or who really want to pay with the debit card, right? They just
Which there are
don't have it.
people.
Yeah, which they
I've
just
been
don't
asked.
have it linked to Venmo or Cash App for whatever reason. But what I love about this whole situation, I'm a big fan of it just because I had to read it and study it and all that good stuff. But it's non-contract. You don't need a contract. Yeah, you don't pay a monthly fee. You don't pay a yearly fee. The equipment was like $50. You just get a little card reader. You get it on the app. The funds are available immediately in your account. And the overall business account is free. You don't pay no monthly service. You don't need a direct deposit. You don't need a minimum daily amount in the account. The only thing it does limits you to is cash deposits. So they're Jackson, you might fall under a certain category. It's a certain dollar amount. I'll get you guys more detail on that. But it's a card reader that only charges 2.9% when they make the purchase. And what I love the most about it, going into the professional aspect of it, the app and the machine is all embedded with charging taxes, with charging the 2.9%, with providing receipt, with providing you can even do inventory in it. You can add customers, you can send emails. It's super crazy. But that's one of the things that I did, and I took in $250 that day that I wouldn't have had if I didn't have it. So if you guys want more info on that, let me know. But other than that, what's another thing? Network with people, dude. How many times did I tell Rocco, hey, Rocco, I got to go take a whiz. Just keep an eye out. Here are my keys. Somebody comes in. I trust you enough. Build those relationships where you have that ambience around you, where everybody's super cool. You got people to your left, you got people to your right. Everybody's looking out for each other. Somebody's looking kind of weird at your cards. Hey, you know what? Let me stand on the other side. All that good stuff. Building that team is essentially, it's going to go a long way, and it provides a little bit more.
Have teams.
It just provides a peace of mind, because you will need to go to the restroom. You will need to leave your station, and if you don't bring a helper, make friends.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Cool.
Yeah. Alrighty, guys. Well, I kept you guys here long enough. Victor, any additional questions that you may have, or anything that you want to talk about?
No, I think this has been a lot to chew on. I think I would be down to have another chat. Sometime maybe after the show or before the show on the 22nd, or if any of you guys see me on Facebook, feel free to shoot me a DM and catch up on the side. But I think this has been, really useful. So thanks, everybody.
No, that's pretty cool. And then I've always wanted to do this, so this is my first. I appreciate you, for being on this type of call. What I want to continue to do is build a community where we can all grow. And I think these type of calls, obviously they don't need to be this long, but I would love to talk about market. I would love to talk about struggles. I would love to talk about areas of opportunity. How can we help you? How can we help each other? We're all in different levels of this business, and I strongly feel that if we continue to create this healthy environment, it's going to continue to grow and prosper, instead of everybody just trying to, outdo everybody. But I will be sending out any notifications whenever I have another call. If you guys ever want to talk about a certain category or a certain struggle, or have any crazy ideas, just this Discord thing will be open for everybody. I think everybody now has everybody's information, and if not, everybody, make sure you guys are nice to each other. Go here to the general chat on the text channels, Grails and Glory. This is my personal server. You guys can link up, put all your socials in there. Numbers, I wouldn't do numbers just because I got other people jumping in here. But I think if we continue to have this type of community, it's going to be great. But before I let you guys go, anybody else has anything to say?
Anybody going to the flip show?
What is
I
that?
might be.
I've never been.
What
It's
is
the
it?
first
No,
one,
it's
Huntsville.
during LA. I won't be there. Never mind.
Okay.
Dang.
Where's it at again? Huntsville.
It's in Huntsville at the whatever expo center, the same one that the Havoc hockey team plays out of.
Okay.
It's not a bad drive. It's not bad parking. There's a parking garage. I think it's like 250 plus tables.
How is
pretty
it for
cool.
Pokemon?
It's usually pretty
Pokemon was
good.
Probably 50% last time there.
We road tripping, Abe?
What's up?
We road tripping?
I would have to see. Sam,
What
if
day
you don't
is it?
mind. Yeah, shoot us like the dates and stuff. That's what I want to do too. I think there's a group out there where it just posts all the card shows around the area. Once I find it, I'll share it with everybody. But Sam, if you have any information, feel free to shoot it.
Yeah.
Just
The
drop it on the
biggest
chat or
downfall
something.
is that when you go and like check in, they hand you a tax form for local taxes in Huntsville.
Ugh.
Everyone talked to their accountant, but I turned one in. I'll say I did turn mine in, but someone else told me that they just throw it away every time. But I think it also meets the category of like if you don't do 200 sales and everything because you're not from your business isn't set up there. Little confused on that. I was not expecting it. It was nowhere on their website, so I wanted to let y'all know about it.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I don't even have this as a business. I just freelance it.
Well, that's yeah. We could have another conversation about that whole piece of it because the tax side and the business side of it, I think, is something that I want to be ahead of as well. And there's a lot of not evasion, but avoiding taxes in a legal way that I'd like to
I mean, I'm all
maximize.
about it.
So,
I'll be real honest. I'm all about it. So
yeah,
you'll see
cool.
me
No.
spend money on PayPal because it's a write off, but you'll see me like turn down deals because I want cash,
True.
or I'll charge them more for PayPal.
Yeah.
And then on that note, Victor, I've been wanting to talk to a CPA for a minute. So if I or you know a CPA that can jump on a call, we can definitely bring them on. We can pick out their brain. And I know somebody. I've been wanting to talk to them, but what I can do too is invite them to one of these calls, and we can just talk taxes and business and all that good stuff if you guys want. And then what we can do also, Rocco, if you ever have a special guest that you want to bring on, because I know you've been talking to a few people and they want to kind of share their insight, or if we have questions for them, just shoot us some information, and I would love to just continue to add value to these conversations.
I'll try to, especially once we start to make Grails and Glory more public, I'll definitely ramp up promotion and stuff like that and put like a link to the Discord on my Instagram or whatever so that we can have all these people come in.
Cool.
But regarding taxes, I have no clue. This is my first tax season doing this, so it's going to be a fun ride for my dad and myself to figure out because his dad was a very big accountant in Texas, so he knows a lot about tax stuff. But we're just gonna go through and see how it is. But
Well,
yeah,
if he knows somebody, we can.
I'm
Have
sure
him.
he does. Like I'll talk.
Yeah.
I'll talk to him about it.
That'll be cool. All right,
You said
guys.
a CPA?
Yeah, CPA, certified personal accountant, I think.
Doesn't Tony work with that stuff?
Tony knows a shit ton of people too. I mean,
Yeah. So I mean, I'm sure Tony could help. Tony is
That's their business right there.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
for whatever business, Tony's your dude. He loves networking. He loves connecting with everybody.
He's an amazing mentor.
He's a good dude.
He's a great guy. He got deep pockets too. I'm sure he doesn't want me to say this, but he's a great dude. You wouldn't even know that, if I didn't tell you, but he's a great guy. I say that because he's the one who I've been partnering with to do these trade days, and he's always had his doors open for anybody within our group. And I'm sure that if you guys ever need someone to talk to about business or anything of that sort, he's a super great guy. On that note, self plug. We're going to have a trade day coming up on the 29th it's going to be after Lighthouse. It's going to be on the 29th of March. So we'll have a trade day after Lighthouse on the 29th of March. And all we do, just hang out. It's going to be a full day for me because I'm going to be doing Lighthouse as well.
Okay,
but,
you're gonna be going this way.
yeah, it'll be on the 29th of March. It'll be after the fact. If you guys can make it, that'd be great. If not, still, we'll see on the other one. We're trying to do at least once a month this year, so it's going to be pretty heavy. But yeah, hopefully by summer, fingers crossed, knock on wood, we'll have a space where we can nerd out with a whole bunch more people. So
Yes.
yeah, it'll be fun.
Yes.
Alrighty, guys.
Yeah. All right.
I appreciate you guys for coming in. You guys enjoy the rest of your weekend. If you guys have any questions, you guys know where to find us. Thank you so much for your time.
Cool. See y'all.
See y'all.
See y'all.
The Lates.
Y'all.